So this is how to make brown rice grits. So I have here a container. This is a 1/3 cup scoop. And I'm going to kind of do just a little under 1/3 of a cup. So I just kind of shake off the excess. But you could do like a 1/4 cup to start. That's great. This is just kind of what I like using. And so I'll pour the 1/3 cup dry into my pan there. And then I'm going to add water. Now I add a 1.5 cups of water. If you're doing just a 1/4 cup, I would add a cup of water. Works great. And then you're just going to pour all the water in. Next, I like to go ahead and add salt. And I like using real salt. It's a great salt. You could measure this out, but I just like to sprinkle it, and I do 5 passes. So I kind of do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've just learned how to kind of count it out that way, and it works great. But again, you could measure that out once you figure out how much salt you like. Then I go ahead and turn on the heat. You can just turn it on low and let it warm up and then slowly simmer over time. I like to go ahead and cook it at like kind of bring it up to a boil first. And then once the water is boiling, I like to go ahead and turn the temperature back down to low. The reason for causing it to boil first is it just gets things cooking a little bit faster. So you could really do it either way. And then here you can see it's starting to come up to a boil a little bit there. But while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and stir. So there's that little bit of rice at the top. I just want to get it stirred in so it can get cooking good as well. Also, it stirs the salt up a bit so everything kind of gets blended up nicely. But here again, it's not exact. You could turn it back to low right now if you want. You can do what I'm doing, which is just wait for it to cook a little bit more so it gets up to a boil. Again, it's really up to your preference, and you can experiment to see what you prefer over time. So overall, this will take about 30 minutes to cook. So once we bring it up to a boil, then I'm going to turn the temperature down to low. I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes, and then I'll come back, stir it a little bit, and probably set a timer for another 10 minutes or so. You could certainly stand around and watch it a bit if you want, just if you're curious. But this is the brown rice grits is a great. I like using it all day, but for breakfast, it's a nice kind of like a hot cereal. And then I like adding cinnamon to it, which I'll show you at the end. And you can also add things like blueberries or bananas, fruit. Any fruit you might like to add. Basically, berries go really well with it. And it kind of sweetens it up a little bit as well. I suppose you could even add things like honey or maple syrup. I don't, but that would certainly make it more of like a dessert. And you could do that, and it would actually work okay. So here's after like 20 minutes. I'm coming back to stir it now, and you can see a lot of the water has got cooked off, but there's still some more water to cook off. So, and then here's after another 10 minutes. You can see now when I'm stirring, it's actually pulling away from the bottom of the pan. So you can see how I move it away there, and then it slowly fills it back up. But you can see a lot of the moisture is cooked away. So this is great. This is a good point to be at here. And I'm just kind of stirring it a little bit more just to evenly distribute the moisture. And then I'm going to add my favorite cinnamon. I like using red ape cinnamon. And I like a generous amount of cinnamon. So, of course, you can do this to your own preference. But and probably for most people, this is maybe more than most people would want. But I like it very cinnamony. And then you can even add things like a little bit of powdered ginger in later on if you want. But I'm just going to go ahead and mix it all in. It's still on low at this point, so it's still cooking off a little bit of that moisture. The cinnamon itself also picks up some of the moisture as well, so it's kind of nice that way. And then basically I'm just going to pour it into a bowl, and it's ready to eat. Now it'll be pretty hot, so you might want to let it cool for a little bit. But I'm not going to do this here, but you can again add fruit like berries or some bananas. Experiment with some different things. Blueberries are a great thing to start with. I'm kind of doing this one-handed, so it's not going to work the best, but you can kind of get an idea of the texture and what it looks like and so forth. So anyway, that's basically it for cooking up brown rice grits in a pot like this. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.